So I'm saying this from a place of love. I genuinely want you guys to win. Most people listening to this, I have no idea who you are. I've probably never met you, but trust me, I want you guys to win. And it's understanding sometimes it's this here, the dark night of the soul. You have to go to the black. You have to go to the darkness. You have to just be like, right, what is actually draining me at my core? And you have to get rid of it. Welcome to the Prime Life Project podcast, a place to help you unlock your full potential, both mentally and physically, to become the best version of you. Welcome back to another episode of the Prime Life Project podcast, a place to help you both mentally and physically become the best version of yourself. I'm your host, Daniel James, and if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Amazing to have you here, but if you're a new listener, welcome. So there is 3 different types of episode that I tend to do. The first one is when I'm here by myself, when I'm just, again, what I'm going to do today is just basically impart some value, some wisdom of stuff that I've learned and gone through myself and stuff that I share with my clients. So I'm just going to pass that on to you guys. So again, it's very much a case of, it's a little bit shorter, but it's a little bit more intense. I've then got one, I've got my co-host Mikey, where me and Mikey just sit and talk. Again, more of like a free flow conversation. There's no real structure to it. We just pick a topic and we discuss it. But again, the whole purpose is to add as much value as we can to you. And then the final episode that you will hear is when I've got a guest on. So that's either a guest in person or over Zoom. And again, the whole purpose is to basically help you guys on a topic by them sharing their experience or their knowledge or their expertise in that area. So the one thing when it comes to this episode or the shows is there's a little fee, and the fee isn't monetary. It's simply a case of, if you take any value from the episodes, please don't forget to just like and share them with a friend, because then it helps us to spread the word, and fundamentally it's just to help as many people as possible. That's what this is here for. So even if you don't pass it on straight away, but if at some point there's a conversation, you're like, I listened to a podcast about that. Again, just drop the episode in, or even just share it on Instagram, because you never know who you're going to help. And there's nothing better when I hear that someone's passed on the episode and then they've then passed the episode on to someone else. So it's actually had an even bigger knock-on effect than what I thought, which is absolutely incredible, because fundamentally I started this podcast just to basically help one person. I thought if I could help one person, that'd be amazing. And now how much it's grown is just absolutely amazing. So again, thank you guys for again, sharing the love. It's very much appreciated. And again, when you guys drop me a message on Instagram and tell me the stuff you've taken from it, means a lot. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. So this is a follow-on episode. So the last episode I did was all about setting boundaries. We kind of touched on there about energy, because that's fundamentally what this all sort of stems down to. You've got a finite amount of energy, and we are basically energy beings living this like physical body, but we are fundamentally made up of energy. So we need to understand how to protect our energy, and it starts off by setting boundaries. And the second part to that is actually how to then refill your cup. So if you have been drained of energy, like how do you actually then look after, protect your energy, and then actually refill your cup? So that's what we're going to talk about today, is basically like how can you refill your cup? Because people don't necessarily talk about that. It's not something that's openly talked about. We all know that we need to replenish, like on a battery, for example, on a phone. When a battery dies, you know to plug it in to recharge it, but we don't really know how to recharge ourselves. So we're going to talk about that, and at the end I'm going to give you some actual usable things that you can do to actually refill your cup. So I just want to start off with a quote, which you've probably seen on Instagram. People love to use this quote on Instagram all the time, and it's, where attention goes, energy flows. Now, fundamentally what it means is your consciousness, your awareness, whatever you put your focus on, that is where all your energy goes, and that's what you give your attention to. So attention, like where you put your attention, it's like a magnifying glass. So we all seen it on the movies where you get a magnifying glass and then you hold it in a certain spot, then it basically amplifies the energy from the sun and it burns a hole in the ground or sets fire to wood. That's fundamentally what this is. Like your attention, your focus, you put it onto a certain spot, and that's where your energy goes. So just understand, just ask yourself, where's your attention? What are you thinking about most of the time? Are you thinking about negative things? Because again, if you think about negative things, guess what? That's where energy is going to go. You're going to focus on the negative things. And we speak about this a lot. And again, it's very flippant. Oh, just think positive. It's not just about thinking positive, because fundamentally, yes, that fundamentally, very, very, very fundamental surface level stuff is, yes, thinking more positive. But again, the rest of the podcasts that I've done with a few of the guests and what I'll continue to do is basically trying to help you unpick that, because that's real surface level. You kind of got a deep dive of that. But understanding, yes, that is it at the surface, think positively. But then it's also understanding why you're thinking negatively. Like where's your attention gone? Why are you basically getting wrapped up in these negative thoughts? And we spoke last week about the protecting energy, and we spoke about this when it comes to you basically got these bottles of water. So remember the analogy I used with bottles of water? Basically, you've created and you've got these 3 amazing bottles of water, or 4 bottles of water, whatever I said. Basically, someone comes along, hey, can I grab one? And before you know it, they've basically depleted all of your energy supplies. And I basically posed the question, why are you giving away your bottles, your energy, when you know that you need them? You know that you need this energy, yet we still will give our energy away so freely without even questioning it. And if you remember, I actually said to you, it's actually your problem. It's your fault. It's your fault that you're doing that because you've not set any sort of boundaries. You're letting these people take. You haven't said no. You haven't said this is okay. So therefore, that is on you. So we spoke about that a little bit last week. But before we fill our cup up, the key thing here, before we fill our cup up, we need to know where the water or the energy has actually gone. Because people do this all the time. People try and refill their cup. They do things to refill, not realizing there's so many cracks in the cup. So one of the main cracks you're going to have is these mood hoovers and energy vampires. So we've all heard of these. And again, I think I got this, me and Mikey were just talking off air before I started about Andy Cope, and the art of being brilliant. So that's where I first learned about these energy vampires and mood hoovers. And again, we all know these people, and they're basically energy sources, like people. They're people that make it hard for you to take control of your life. They come to you because they want your energy, your thoughts, attention, or your time. That's fundamentally what they want. They want to get something from you. And again, these are conscious people. So talk about the energy vampires and mood hoovers. A lot of these times they're very conscious about what they're doing. Not all the time, but most of the time they're very conscious about what they're doing. They're lacking something. They're trying to get it from you. So energy vampires and mood hoovers are lacking their own energy in some way, shape, or form. They're lacking something, and through their unmet needs. So we spoke about this with Nori. Like they've got needs that aren't being met. Fundamentally, at their core, there's needs there. Fundamental needs to be happy and content. They're not having their needs met, and they're trying to steal your energy and all these things that you're doing to make up for it. And the more energy you give them, the more powerful they become. So we know what this is like. The more you focus on something, we've spoken about this before, the more you resist something, the more it persists. So I'm like, oh no, don't want this. I don't want to see red cars. I don't want to see red cars. You're giving your attention to red cars. You're going to see red cars everywhere. I don't want to see negative. I don't want to see negative. What are you seeing? Negative everywhere. Remember, it's just like Google. The brain's just like Google. The universe is just like Google. It doesn't understand words. It just understands energy. So if you say, oh, don't want to see this, I don't want to see that, like, but then you type into Google, not red cars or no red cars, what's going to appear? Red cars. It doesn't see the words don't, not, and no. The universe, the energy doesn't understand that. So if you're saying, I don't want to see this, not that you're giving energy to it. You're giving energy to it, and that's what you're going to focus on. That's what you're going to see. It's important to understand that every single thing needs energy to survive. Everything. Like we can't survive that energy. So you need to understand, like, you have a choice. You've got your energy. You've got your 100 units of energy, but you have a choice how you spend it and where you put that attention. So you can either focus it on yourself and your goals and creating the life of your dreams and a life that you want to actually be proud of, be happy, content, fulfilled, or you can give your energy to these mood hoovers and these energy vampires. They're constantly trying to leech and steal from you. It's up to you where you put your energy. And again, remember, there's going to be a time and a place when you have to give your energy to people. Like, again, if a family member gets ill, for example, or something major happens, yes, give your energy. Go above and beyond. I get that, yes. But if this is every day of your life, is it any wonder if you've got 100 units of energy and you're giving 95% of it to other people and other things, and you've only got 5% for you, and you're wondering why your life is not where you want it to be? Because this was me. This was fundamentally me. I was walking around in such a zombified state, just walking around life, and life was happening to me. I didn't realize I was giving my energy, my thought energy, to so many negative things, and then wondering why more negativity was appearing in my life. It's because that's what I was giving my attention to. I was just focused on the negative. This is why I'm so adamant and I'm so passionate about talking about understanding the power of your thoughts and where you're putting your attention and focusing on the positives as best you can. That's why if you listen to all my guests and we talk about this sort of stuff, that's why we talk about this conscious awareness, understanding that you are an energy being. You are literally a walking battery of energy. And we don't understand that. We understand if our phone is starting to die, we have to plug it in. We don't understand if our energy is on 10%, we don't really know what to do. So just understand, you need to get rid of all these energy vampires and mood hoovers. Again, it's one crack. The second crack is, again, not setting boundaries. We spoke about that last week, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. We spoke about that a lot. The key thing with that is understanding that you have to set these boundaries. You have to understand, what do you actually want? At your core, what do you want? What's the outcome of what you want? You have to communicate that boundary effectively, and then you have to defend that boundary. So I'm not going into too much detail about that. Go and listen to last week's episode if you didn't hear it about setting boundaries. Then the third one is a lack of self-care and routine. This is a big one, which again, people don't pay attention to. They don't pay attention to this at all. People think that being disciplined is somehow a burden, is negative, but actually having discipline, structure and routine, especially one that looks after yourself, that gives you freedom. If you set yourself up positively at the start of the day and go to the bed in a positive manner and do some things, again, it doesn't even have to be big. Mikey Markham. I'm in my little flow state here. If anyone knows a good videographer, please email me at Daniel James. Lost my flow state. Was that? Do you want to share with the group, Mikey? What was that?
My phone does odd things when my fingers touch it.
Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway, so when it comes to energy vampires and mood hoovers, Mikey Markham. We're talking about some about the morning routine and the evening routine. So it's understanding if you take something, it doesn't have to be a long thing. When it comes to like an hour-long thing or anything like that, because I think me and Mikey did an episode on that when it comes to my routine used to be really solid and rigid. But again, I had to be more fluid with it. So it's just understanding that what you're doing is by having these routines and habits, we are habit creatures. Like everything that we do in life is because of habits. Like we are structured on a subconscious level with our habits and our routines. Now you've got to look at the results that you're getting in your life, and those results are a direct reflection of the habits and routines that you have. So if you have negative results in your life, it's because you have negative habits and routines. Because the habits and routines is what causes the results, because it's on a subconscious level. When you wake up in the morning, you will have a routine. You will brush your teeth in a certain way. You'll go a certain way to work. You will do these things. We are pattern creatures. We are habit creatures. That is what we do. We run on these programs. And if the results in your life are not what you want, it's because the habits and the programming there on a subconscious level, which is about 96 to 98% of like what controls your life, is that. It's only 2 to 4% is actually conscious. So you can think all this positive stuff, but on a subconscious level, if it's not there, it's not embedded. We'll do a whole podcast on this at some point when I go into detail about this, but surface level stuff here. Understand that the results are a direct correlation to the habits and routines that you have. People talk about habits and routines, they don't really understand what it's truly about, but fundamentally it's setting you up for success. Again, it's setting your energy up, making sure you're protecting your energy, making sure that you're on a good vibrational level. And again, we are energy beings. We put something out there and you get it back. So you want to put the positivity out there, positivity comes back. So again, self-care routines. Again, what can that look like? You've got things like you exercise, walking. Now exercise can be anything. It doesn't mean going to the gym, because some people hate going to the gym, but even just playing with your kids, playing with the dog, that is exercise. You've got exercise, walking, gratitude journaling, proper nutrition, meditation, reading, journaling, music and podcasts. All of these things can be classed like proper self-care routines. But we're doing this not for just lighting a candle. When people talk about self-care, they do like this fluffy stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to just have a bath and just read a book. That's great. But if you're fundamentally struggling, that's not going to help you. This is just one part of it. Like you have to understand, like that's, yes, potentially for doing it one time, that's not going to help. That needs to be a constant thing. So again, remember this cup, again, like you should imagine a glass cup. Like again, if you're on camera, you're seeing this glass cup. I've got this Coke Zero in. And if I'm trying to refill this up with there's cracks there, you have to get the cracks sorted out first before you keep putting all this self-care routine stuff in there, because it's not fundamentally going to work. And too many people try to fill their cup without plugging the holes. You have to plug the holes first. People try and change jobs. They try and sleep in. They try and have TV days, buy things, drink coffee. They're like, oh yeah, just keep doing all this stuff, but fundamentally it's not going to fill the cup up. You're doing things to try and cheat the system. That's not how it works. You can change jobs as many times as you want. Oh, it's my job that's causing me to have lack of energy. No, it's not. It's all these other things that's draining your energy. Oh, I need more coffee. Don't need coffee. You need to stop draining your energy. Oh, I need to buy these things. Like, when I have this thing, then I'll feel better. No, you won't. You've still got things draining your energy. I need to sleep in. Any wonder why when you sleep in, you wake up and you're constantly still tired. Again, it's because you've got things draining your energy. You can't just keep sleeping in and it's not going to work. Again, TV days, you literally sit there, you do nothing, yet your energy is still drained. Why? Because you probably sat there texting the thing that's actually draining your energy. We never stop to think about this. You have to stop the rot. Now, there's an amazing thing here. I think I found it on Instagram, a video talking about social media, the negative of social media. It's actually an amazing thing. So I'm just going to read this amazing thing. So it says, in alchemy, the matter to be turned into gold must pass through a state called nigarido, or blackness, stripped of all its qualities. The matter must lie purifying in silence. Only by passing through this state will it eventually be perfected and glorified. So it is also with ourselves. The light of the spirit comes after the dark night of the soul. What does that mean? It's understanding that sometimes you have to strip yourself back of all of this stuff. You have to get yourself, sit in the silence, get rid of all of the crap, go back to quote unquote nothingness, get rid of all this negativity, or get rid of all the mood hoovers. Even if it means you have no friends temporarily, they weren't really your friends anyway. If they're absolutely draining you, understand you've got to just strip all this rubbish away. You've got to strip yourself back. You have to strip yourself back to the bare bones if needed to then actually rebuild yourself to become this golden, amazing human being that you are. This is uncomfortable. This is why people don't do this. People would rather sit there in a state of being tired, lethargic, living a crappy, subpar life, rather than actually realizing, no, I have to change something. Like I've said, my life has been an absolute nightmare. I have made some horrific decisions in my life. I've hurt a lot of people. But again, I've owned it, I've reflected it, I've taken complete responsibility for the part that I've played in this. So when I'm saying this stuff, I'm literally telling you that I have lived this life. You hear me talking now, all the good that I do now, all the people that I help. Like, I'm very good at what I do. Very, very good at what I do. I help so many people, but that comes from years of abusing myself. Not being a nice person. I fundamentally at my core was a nice person, but I've said this before, I was trying to help other people, I was trying to impress other people. I was giving my energy, time, attention to other things, and I wasn't living congruently with myself. I was trying to impress other people, and fundamentally all I was doing was hurting other people in the process. So I'm saying this from a place of love. I genuinely want you guys to win. Most people listening to this, I have no idea who you are. I've probably never met you, but trust me, I want you guys to win. And it's understanding sometimes it's this here, the dark night of the soul. You have to go to the black. You have to go to the darkness. You have to just be like, right, what is actually draining me at my core? And you have to get rid of it. And it can be very, very uncomfortable. And again, I'm not saying you've got to do it in one night. That's not what I'm saying, but just understand you've got to gain that awareness. If something is literally draining your energy and ruining your life that much, you have to gain awareness of it, and then you have to do something about it. And you have to have your own back. You have to trust yourself and know that you will be okay. Again, if all of your friends are mood hoovers, energy vampires, just not nice people at their core, they just take. Understand, by you cutting them out, yes, it may suck and it may feel lonely, but they were not your true friends originally. Once you actually start to work on yourself and start to protect your energy, save your energy, start to realize who you fundamentally are, people will come to you. You'll be attracted to people on the same wavelength as you. Hence why someone like Mikey's come into my life. You've got your cages in my life. All people now that are just drawn to me because of the level where I'm at. And again, I'm just starting out on this. Like I've not even begun. That sounds like a bizarre concept. Like where I'm at right now, I've not even begun at all. Literally still in the infancy stages. But it's understanding that the more that I go through this process, the more that I start to level up, the more I attract amazing things and people, situations, opportunities into my life so that I can actually live the life that I want to live. And that's all I fundamentally want for you guys, is to live the life that you want to. Now, when it comes to these cracks in your cup, people like to say we're broken. Oh, we're broken. I'm broken. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. But there's an amazing thing here called kintsugi, which is a Japanese art of putting broken pottery pieces back together with gold. You may again have seen this on Instagram. It's absolutely incredible. It's built on the idea that embracing flaws and imperfections, you can create an even stronger, more beautiful piece of art. Every break is unique, and instead of repairing an item like new, this 400-year-old technique actually highlights the scars as part of the design. So again, using this metaphor for healing ourselves and teaching us an important lesson, sometimes in the process of repairing things have to be broken. We actually create something more unique, beautiful, and resilient. Let me say that last part again. Using this as a metaphor for healing ourselves teaches us an important lesson. Sometimes in the process of repairing things that have broken, so again, dark night of the soul, we're repairing something that's broken. Like fundamentally, it wasn't working. This cup was broken. The cup was broken. Our energy was seeping out of us. It was broken. Sometimes in the process of repairing things that are broken, we actually create something more unique, beautiful, and resilient. Keyword here, resilient. Once you go through these things, you become more resilient. You level up. I've said this time and time again. Life does not get easier. You just get better. You just become more resilient. And as you go through your journey, remember, you are creating a better version of yourself constantly by turning these broken cracks into golden accomplishments. That's the key thing here. Like, wear them with pride. Understand all these things, all the stuff I've done in my life. Again, I'm not saying I'm proud of it by any means, but it's made me who I am today. I wouldn't go back and change a single thing. We talked about this on the radio the other day. Like, would you go back and change something? No, I wouldn't. I would not go back and change a single thing. Because my life was meant to be exactly how it was. I was meant to make all these mistakes. I was meant to hurt all these people, to actually feel that pain it caused me, to realize I don't want to be that person anymore. So let's just then talk about how can you, once we've got these cracks, so we've created all these, we've put this gold, we've embraced our cracks, we've got rid of the energy vampires, we've set some boundaries, and we're like, right, cool. Now, how can we actually start to refill our cup? So a little hack number one is, again, now what we're looking into this is basically tapping into neurotransmitters, which are basically things in your brain that basically help you feel good. So we've got things like getting a good night's sleep, listening to upbeat music, and completing small little tasks. Having a little to-do list. Again, let's say to-do list, like things that you're going to do that's going to move your life forward. Because all of these things release something called dopamine, which is the feel-good neurotransmitter that drives the brain's reward system. So by doing these little things here, getting a good night's sleep, listen to upbeat music, and complete small tasks, there's real simple, easy things to do. So again, bam, that ticks off dopamine. Amazing. That's only one. So some people are like, oh, I get a good night's sleep, or just listen to music. That just ticks off one. But we've actually got other neurotransmitters as well. So we've got another one here called serotonin. So we get this serotonin, which basically is the mood stabilizer that improves your sleep, reduces anxiety, and just increases a sense of overall wellness. So again, this is getting sunlight, going out for a walk, doing a little bit of cardio, or meditating. So that's then a second neurotransmitter you're tapping into. And then we've got a third one, which is eating dark chocolate, doing some exercise, watching some comedy, or burning some essential oils. This is then endorphins, which is the brain's natural painkiller and reduces stress and increases pleasure. And the final one here is hack number 4, petting dogs, holding hands, and giving someone a hug, is oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone, which is released when you feel connected to people. So understand, if you can take one of these, so you've got serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins. So let's say, for example, you pet a dog. Let's say you do some exercise. Let's say you go out for a walk and you get a good night's sleep. Straight away, we talk to people like biohacks. You're essentially biohacking your brain here because you're then getting every single one of these neurotransmitters that's going to make you feel good. And then you just focus on winning the day. You fill up your cup properly, and then you start to help other people. Fill your cup up first, then help other people. But understand, when you start to understand how the brain works in these neurotransmitters, just do little things each day to hit different one of them. Because if you're only getting serotonin and you're neglecting the other ones, you're not going to feel complete and whole. Now again, this is a slow process. This isn't just something where you do it once and like, oh, this isn't working. No, it's not working. It doesn't happen overnight. It's that compounding effect. Do these every day. Just again, small little things here that are really easy and simple to do. They don't even cost money. They are completely free things. Pick one of the things I've said to you from each category, or Google, again, other things to release serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins, free things to release them, and just do one of each day, every day. Commit to it. Do it for the next 3 months, 12 weeks, and tell me how much better your life feels. Again, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I absolutely love these ones where I can just sit down and just, again, impart as much wisdom as I possibly can. Again, I absolutely love you guys. You're absolutely awesome. If you took any value from today's episode, don't forget to like and share it with a friend. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.